out. So for these people to be so stupid on geopolitics, like it's really hard to argue with them or take them serious. But I'll land it
Uh,
there.
Michal, I'm not sure. I agree with your conclusion. I really wish everything you said is going to be true, but I think we need to be real here, and I'm not sure that I can guarantee, at least in my head, that there will be democratic elections in Venezuela. I wouldn't guarantee in my head that Hezbollah is going to fall and we're going to have peace with Lebanon. These are things that are very difficult, and I don't see. I get that Iran is falling, but I don't see that being a direct cause for Hezbollah's end. Like
Yeah,
I said,
but
they have
hyper Israel changed their they changed their actual like combats right there because they said this. They said like, we're gonna take out Hezbollah, but guess what? There's no more like of you guys saying like, oh, we're sorry that they're in there. Like it's like
right.
no, no, then you guys are
I
gonna
don't think that's
suffer as
changed. I
well.
think I think that's been the policy throughout since October 7th. Listen, I'm
No,
in
it
Israel. I
hasn't.
want
No,
this
it
to happen.
hasn't. No, it hasn't. It's pressuring the Maronites to sit there and being like, you guys don't get to just be pacifists on this and just sit there and be like, oh, I'm sorry they're here. It's like you guys need to do something about it.
That
You
was,
guys
but
need to put them in check.
what you're saying, Anon, is exactly the ceasefire we signed with Lebanon, and since then they haven't done anything. My point
But did you see
is
their
not
last
that I don't want
speech?
this. My point
Did you
is that I
see?
want.
Well, I'm saying, did you see their last speech? They actually did you see? So the Lebanon
Right, they
government
can criticize them,
criticized
but they don't
them.
do
Have you seen that
actions.
before?
My point is that they can talk all they want. They talk a lot. As an Israeli, I want them. I want to see. Honestly, I would be happy
You
if they
guys,
were
you
already
guys,
bombed.
it's live. Hold on, hold on. Demolish the enemy far ahead of schedule and at levels that people have never seen before, actually. We're destroying more of Iran's missiles and drone capability every single hour, knocking them out like nobody thought was possible. As soon as they set off a missile, within 4 minutes, the launcher gets hit. They don't know what's happening. But we have the greatest military anywhere in the world. Their Navy is gone. 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships. Their anti-aircraft weapons are gone. So they have no air force. They have no air defense. All of their airplanes are gone. Their communications are gone. Missiles are gone. Launches are gone. About 60% and 64% respectively. Other than that, they're doing quite well. I said, what's left? But they're tough and they want to fight. And they're calling, they're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do. We've had 47 years, depending on the way you count it, but 47 years of horror with this group. And, when you see somebody walking down the street without their legs, without the arms, whose face is so badly affected and hurt, it mostly came from 95% Soleimani and Iran. And we, other presidents, lived with it. I didn't live with it. And so our people are doing a great job. Again, the greatest military anyone's seen. Thank you. Thank you very much. And yesterday, my administration announced decisive action to help keep down the oil prices, including offering political risk insurance for tankers transiting into the Gulf, as you know, pretty dangerous territory. Further action to reduce pressure on oil is imminent, and the oil seems to have pretty much stabilized. We had it very low, but I had to take this little detour if it's okay with everybody. Scott, it's okay with you? Scott's the one who has to put up with it. He said, you have to do this now? I said, I have to do it, Scott, right? But it's been very strong, and everybody, including Scott, everybody feels we had really no choice. They were gonna hit us if we didn't hit them because they're crazy. And in the long term, the actions we're taking will dramatically increase the stability of the region and oil prices and stock markets and everything else. We set the all-time record in history with the Dow going to 50,000. So Dow is at 50,000. It was supposed to be maybe, if we were lucky, by the end of my presidency in 4 years. and we did it in my first year. We did the S&P 500. We did that in a period of less than a year, and that was even tougher than the Dow, they said, so it wasn't going to happen. But we have a great country. We have a country that's never done this well. We've had tremendous success in so many different ways. I built the military and rebuilt it in my first term, and we're using it more than I'd like to use it, to be honest with you. But when we used it, we found out it certainly did work. When we look at Venezuela, when we look at the first attack, Midnight Hammer, in Iran, which really set the stage for what we're doing right now, it's been pretty amazing. And I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military, and the police to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help take back your country. You're going to have a chance after all these years to take back your country. Accept immunity. We'll give you immunity. And we'll be giving you really the right side of history, because that's what it is. So you'll be perfectly safe with total immunity, or you'll face absolutely guaranteed death. And I don't want to see that. They don't want to see it either. We also urge Iranian diplomats around the world to request asylum and to help us shape a new and better Iran with great potential. It's a country with great potential. There's much better future for Iran. It's now beginning. It's going to be, I think, a great future. And the United States will ensure that whoever leads the country next, Iran will not threaten America or its neighbors, Israel, anybody. If you look at what happened, they had missiles aimed at all of these other countries, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, many others, that weren't really involved very much, and they had missiles aimed. Well, they were aimed there long before this ever started. They were going after the entire Middle East. And then we came along. We blew up their party. So we have phenomenal people. I want to thank all of the people that have been involved. Marco, you've been doing a fantastic job. And you've been doing a fantastic job on a place called Cuba. Right? Right. And A-Rod came in before. I said, hey, do you want to come up to a little award? He's gone to plenty of award ceremonies. Thank you, A-Rod. Big fan. But what's happening with Cuba is amazing. And we think that we want to finish this one first, but that will be just a question of time before you and a lot of unbelievable people are going to be going back to Cuba. Hopefully not to stay. We want you back, and we don't want to lose you. We don't want to make it so nice that they stay. But some people probably do want to stay. They love Cuba so much. I hear it all the time. That was another one that wasn't supposed to happen. Venezuela is going great. It's been stabilized. We have a wonderful person as your president-elect, Delcy Rodriguez, and she and her staff have been doing a fantastic job working with us. We're taking out hundreds of millions of barrels of oil, and it's going to Houston and various other places where it's being refined, and we're sending them back far more money than they've made in many years, and actually very shortly it'll be more money than they've ever made. And Venezuela is working. So we've had a lot of countries in places that truly love, you would say football, I would say soccer, but these are all countries that love football/soccer. And so I think the group likes it. And if you'd like, you could sit. I know I'm a very exciting speaker, but you can sit down if you'd like, okay? I'm looking at everybody standing. I'm saying, let's sit down. Because we're here to honor these great champions, and we want to take our time, right? Let's get to the reason that we're here, and it's a beautiful reason because we're honoring truly talented people. Today we're thrilled to host the 2025 MLS Cup champions, Inter Miami. Great job. And it's my distinct privilege to say what no American president has ever had the chance to say before. Welcome to the White House, Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is, my son said, Dad, you know who's going to be there today? I said, no. I got a lot of things going on. He said, Messi. I said, really? He's a big fan. He's a big fan of yours. He thinks you're just a great person, and I think you got to meet a little while. So he's a big soccer fan, but he's a tremendous fan of yours, and a gentleman named Ronaldo. Cristiano is great. You're great. Boy, some big champions, some great athletes in that sport, and people that really love what they're doing, and they're doing it well. And it's an honor for us and everybody at the White House to be honoring you today. So congratulations as well to co-owners Jorge and Jose Mas, who came from Cuba, right? Originally from Cuba? Huh? Your parents came? And you're going to go back, oh, yeah. It's going to be, and you won't need my approval. You just fly back in when I can just see that. It's going to be a great day, right? We're going to celebrate that separately. I just wanted to wait a couple of weeks. I wanted to wait a couple of weeks, but we'll be together again soon, I suspect, celebrating what's going on in Cuba. They want to make a deal so badly, you have no idea. As well as head coach, who I hear is a phenomenal coach, Javier Mascherano. Who's the coach? I've heard he's a great coach. Well, anybody who wins is a good coach in my book, but I heard you're a hell of a coach. And all of the tremendous players that are just amazing. We're also grateful to be joined by the MLS Commissioner, Don Garber. Don, where are you, Don? Stand up, Don. Good job. Good job. As well as proud Miami sports fan, Secretary of State. I'm telling you, he's going to go down as the best Secretary of State in the country's history, Marco Rubio. I don't want him to get too popular. True. I don't want him to get too popular. You know, when they get too popular, all of a sudden you see, where's Marco? He's not around anymore. I don't see him. He's doing some job, and your next one is going to be, we want to do that special Cuba. He's waiting, but he says, let's get this one finished first. We could do them all at the same time, but bad things happen. If you watch countries over the years, you do them all too fast, bad things happen. We're not going to let anything bad happen to this country. Also with us are Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's a terrific person and fan. And she's proving how tough she is, and I think the next 3 years she's going to really prove it, right? Huh? Like these people. Secretary Scott Bessent, Lori Chavez-DeRemer, and Sean Duffy. Thank you, everybody. What a great team. And U.S. Trade Representative, who's done incredible deals, unbelievable, Jamieson Greer. Thank you, Jamieson Greer. And our country has never been bigger, better, richer, or stronger, and the deals we're making are unbelievable. And a lot of it's because of the tariffs, and a lot of it's because of everything else. We had a little complicating factor with tariffs the other day with the Supreme Court. They did the wrong thing, but it didn't make any difference because we have another way of doing it. They always have to make it the hard way. Do you know about that? You always have to. Is it like that? It's always got to be the difficult way, right? Little bit. Huh? Makes you work harder, right? But we're doing great. Our country is doing incredibly well. It's never done like this. It's, I was with the King of Saudi Arabia. He said, a year and a half ago, we thought your country was dead, would never come back. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world, which was sort of cool. I'll relate that story. But many leaders say the same thing. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world. 2025 was the record-shattering season for Inter Miami beginning last summer at the historic FIFA Club World Cup, hosted for the first time right here in the USA. So exciting. I shouldn't say this because you'll say I'm old, but I watched Pelé play. He played for the Cosmos, you know that? And Steve Ross was a great friend. I don't know how many people remember Steve. He was a legendary businessman. He really started cable and cable TV. He was way ahead of time and ultimately passed away of tragically. But he started the Cosmos team and he wanted to get some good players. So he started with Pele. I don't know. You may be better than Pele. Pele was pretty good. Who's better, him or Pele? I agree. I think he is. But he was pretty good, right? Pele was pretty good. But it was very exciting, and I went to the games. I'd go every once in a while, but soccer just didn't catch on. And then when Steve got ill, it sort of went away, and then it came back, and now it's just turning out to be amazing how it's coming back in this country. But the Cosmos were a very hot team, playing with other teams that weren't so good. But I got to watch Pele play, and he was something too. In the June group stage of that tournament, these players went toe-to-toe with some of the best teams anywhere in the world. You tied Egypt's best club, supposed to be an unbelievable, talented club, with a gutsy performance from veteran goalie Oscar Ostari, who played a great game. Then you tied the top Brazilian club, thanks to a brilliant goal from one of the greatest strikers of all time, Luis Suarez. Was he? These are good-looking people. Marco, I don't like good-looking men. You don't feel so good about yourself standing up here. Good-looking people. In the 65th minute, Louis gathered the ball around midfield and turned for a vintage solo run, dribbling through the defense, driving past defenders like few people have ever seen before, cutting to his left, hammering home a goal that secured Miami's place in the next round. But no match in the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup was more important than the match against FC Porto. Porto took an early lead, but you came back strong in the 54th minute, tied 1-1. Leo lined up for one of his iconic free kicks. He struck the ball decisively, bending it over the wall and beating the keeper with a sensational left hook. Would I be able to do that if I practiced? He said, no, I think he's right, my friend. Great. In that moment, you sealed a truly historic Inter-Miami victory, becoming the first club from North America ever to beat a European club in official competition. Unbelievable. You know, I have to just interject. So, over the years, I love sports, and I've watched my friend A-Rod. With George Steinbrenner. I'd sit in his box, just the two of us. He would never have anybody but me. He liked me, right? He liked me, and he liked you. He liked almost nobody. It would be a World Series when baseball was hot. It's not as hot now, I'll be honest with you. They do things wrong. But when baseball was hot as a pistol with George, and I'd sit and I'd watch the Yankees, and he'd have 30 seats, and it would just be me and him. And I said to A-Rod, would say, what was the most difficult thing you've ever done? I said, it's probably sitting for 3 hours with George Steinbrenner watching a Yankee playoff game or World Series game. You know what I mean by that. He was a difficult guy, but he was great, right? He liked me, I liked him, and we both liked nobody else. And that was a good combination. But I have to say this. So I've seen a lot of great players come into the world of sports, and they came in from all different countries, all different players. They've come, in some cases, just from different states. They come to the Yankees, or they come to the Dodgers, or they come to whatever. But I've seen them come in from other countries, and there's such a clamor. Oh, so great, everything's great. But they don't win. This guy won. He came in, there was tremendous fanfare, and he won. You know, right? But it's true, they don't win. They come in and, they're great players, and they can even play okay, but they don't win. And Leo, you came in and you won, and that's something very hard to do, very unusual. And frankly, there's a lot more pressure put on you than anyone would know, because you're sort of expected to win, but almost nobody wins. They come in, they're great, they're the best in the world, they get paid a fortune. You came in and you won with all that pressure. That's an amazing tribute. So congratulations. Right? But in that moment, you sealed a truly historic Inter-Miami victory. And think of that, first club ever, North America, to top the so-called European clubs. Pretty amazing thing to do. Returning to the MLS, Inter-Miami built on that incredible momentum, playing a record number of games and scoring a total of 101 goals, the most in MLS history. Is that correct, Mr. Commissioner? Well, that's pretty good. How's Andrew? Is Andrew treating you okay? He's a good golfer, too, actually. People don't know it. He's a very good golfer, right, Andrew? But Trump's a good golfer, too, Andrew. Huh? Thank you. With 29 goals in the regular season alone, Leo won the prized Golden Boot, becoming the first player to be named the league MVP twice in a row. Amazing, comes in, a lot of great players. Pretty amazing thing to do, very hard to do. Exploding into the playoffs, this team racked up a series of statement wins, big wins, frankly, wins that a lot of people didn't think they could do. You secured a 3-1 must-win victory over Nashville SC. You thrashed FC Cincinnati 4-0 on the road. And then you routed New York City FC 5-1, led by a hat trick from young star Tadeo Allende. Where is Tadeo? Yes, what a group of people. We could have a lot of fun with these guys. You can imagine when they win how they celebrate. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. In that MLS Cup final against the Vancouver Whitecaps, the entire team played together as one flawless unit. Just flawless, they say. After Vancouver tied the game 1-1, Leo picked the pocket of a Whitecap defender and sent a pass to the great Rodrigo de Paul. Where the hell is Rodrigo? Do you have any bad-looking players? I like the bad-looking guys much better. Who stuck a low-driving shot into the side net, taking the lead. And then in the 6th extra minute of stoppage time, Tadeo drove home your third and final goal, making the score 3-1 and securing your status as the first champions in club history. What an amazing accomplishment. Coach Mascherano became one of the few head coaches to win the MLS Cup finals in his very first year. And Leo claimed the 47th trophy of his storied career. 47th, can you imagine that? The most of all time. That's the most of all time. So Leo is the reigning FIFA World Cup MVP. You could have gone anywhere in the world. You could have chosen any team in the world, and you chose to go to Miami. I don't blame you. The weather's extremely good. You go to Doral. You go to Doral and play golf. And I just want to thank you for bringing us all in this ride, because you are hot and talented and a great person. I look forward to seeing many of you on the summer. We're going to be out there in the summer, 2026 FIFA World Cup. And we have a lot of interesting things, because we have the World Cup and we have the Olympics, so we have the 250, and I was responsible for getting the Olympics in my first term. And I was responsible for getting with Johnny. We got the World Cup, and Johnny's a good man. Do we like Johnny? I think so, right? Like you say, yeah, I think so. He's a good guy. But, they're setting records on the World Cup, setting absolute total. I guess many of you guys are going to be in it, but setting records on ticket sales, right? Numbers that, literally double what anyone's ever done before. So it's good. So they picked the right. But I thought that I didn't know that I'd be the president during this because the election was rigged and stolen, and I had to do it all again. And then I said, hey, wait a minute, I just got soccer/football, and I just got the Olympics, and we got most important. I took credit for those two. Then I tried to take credit for 250 years, and it didn't play well at all with the press. But we're going to have an amazing year. But I just want to thank you so much, Arias, for the job you've done. I've known you for a while, and I've known of you for a long period of time. You are a spectacular man, and please say a few words. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. To all these distinguished guests, secretaries, so many friends and supporters. On behalf of myself, my wife Aleida, my brother Jose, and his wife Patty, and my whole family who is here today, with David Beckham, I want to express to you what an extreme honor and privilege it is to be in the People's House, led by you, celebrating in the presence of champions, winners all. Because this championship was very, very well deserved, greatly played, and you're looking at one of the best teams on the face of the earth standing behind us. And this all became possible because we dared to dream. 7 years ago, Inter Miami was nothing but an idea and a dream. I remember after talking to Commissioner Garber and being awarded a team, we sat in the conference room of our family business in Miami and said to each other, what do we do now? And as the son of a man and woman who left Cuba, just seeking freedom in this great country, it has driven us to excellence. And we thought, what can we do to make a difference? What can we do that's special? And at that time, I told myself what many people thought impossible. I said, we are going to bring the world's greatest player to play at Inter Miami. And that was in 2019. And today, standing before you, you have the world's greatest player here to my right. Over the course of the last 2.5 years that he has been here, we've been on an epic run of records, of trophies, of winning. Because what I've wanted to establish with Inter Miami is a winning culture. That it be a reflection of our community of South Florida and Miami, made up of winners, of hardworking men and women, and I want our team to be an embodiment of our fan base and everyone who aspires to a better future and to a better life. On the back of our jersey, Mr. President, it says freedom to dream, because that's our family moniker and what embodies our team and our aspirations. But that all began many, many years before at the dinner table of our family with my late father, Jorge Mascanosa, and my mother, Irma, who is here today. And I speak now in tribute to our parents' generation. And I share that with Secretary Marco Rubio, of men and women who fled communism, who fled tyranny, who wanted a better life for their boys and their daughters and their sons in the future. And at that table was instilled in us that if you work hard and you sacrifice and you dream, it can be possible. And today, standing before you, Inter Miami is one of the world's biggest clubs. Most based on history, but our history has been short. But having a winning culture, having the best-selling jersey on the face of the earth, making a global difference, and not only because of Lionel Messi, but these men standing behind you have changed the culture of football in the United States of America forever. We can play with the big boys. We can be heavyweights. Our league can be one of the top leagues in the world. And it is this ability to dream, to persevere, to have no obstacles ahead of us, that we will continue to be successful. And hopefully, Mr. President, this is not our only visit here celebrating an MLS Cup championship. But this team is an embodiment of that. And I want to thank you to be able to express this to you, to so many dear friends, loved ones, and global fans all over the world. We fill stadiums everywhere. We're playing this weekend against DC United at the Ravens Stadium in Baltimore, because we'll have a sellout there. We sell out everywhere we go. We open the season in the LA Coliseum with a record crowd. But it is our aspiration to continue breaking barriers, to putting no limits, to making sure that Major League Soccer and Inter Miami over the course of the next few years is considered with the elite of global football. So with that said, Mr. President, thank you. Thanking you for sharing this championship with us, that we can share it with our families in the people's house and we can share it with the world. Thank you. And now we have some gifts we'd like to present to you.
Thank you.
So, ground control.
Is it done?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay. Fall asleep.
So maybe just taking a little rest.
Yeah. Okay.
Continue on with your
She's there.
conversation.
She's there.
He's getting the shirt and the ball, Trump 47 and a
Okay.
pink ball, football.
Michal, while we're waiting, can you give the audience a little update of what is actually going on the ground in Israel? Because there's a lot of propaganda over here. We'd like to debunk that.
Last
Uh,
update I saw,
in
Michal, I don't
Israel,
know if you can confirm, is that they actually did have a cluster bomb munition sent from Iran, and it actually did explode with like full clusters going whatever through the sky. I don't know if you saw those videos, but that's
you're
what I've
talking
seen
about
reported
Yeah,
something
I
from.
just saw them. Yeah.
3 days ago, right? Not today. Something that
No, no,
happened 3 days
today.
ago.
I mean, I saw a video from today. I retweeted it. I wanted to get a confirmation from an Israeli.
Nighttime video, Cyber?
Yes,
It was a
ma'am.
nighttime video. All right. Okay.
If you can DM it to me, I'll see if this is the same one I saw, because I saw something like 3 days ago, and we know that they're using this kind of missiles. They used it already in June in the 12 days war. But I don't know about any damage. The only there were two lethal attacks. There was the one on the first night, the first day in Tel Aviv, where a woman was killed. She was from Filipino, a worker that is working here with elderly people. That was the first night, and then we had this disaster in Bet Shemesh when it was like a direct hit. Actually, the people were very well protected in the bomb shelter, but even a bomb shelter cannot take such a hit when it's direct. And I think 9 people were killed, many injured. And since then, I don't think we had any more. I'm talking about the things that happened in the first 3 days. I don't think there's any more casualties. Life in Tel Aviv today, they took a little. They took down the level of alert. Means many businesses that were closed now are open. For example, um, gyms and places like I could go and have my dance class today, which I couldn't do for the last week, for example. Even while the first days until today, there were some cafes and restaurants open, but most places did not open. Especially, it depends whether or not you have a shelter nearby. So if there's a good shelter nearby, they can allow themselves to open. And then when there's when the siren starts, people have where to go. If you don't have a
Okay. I
proper
put it for you in a
shelter,
purple pill if
okay,
you want to look at it. Okay.
I'll check it now. Wait a second. Um,
So
so apart from that,
the rumor that the internet is not working and that they're
in
preventing
Israel,
people from posting from posting information, that's complete propaganda, right?
all Israel is on X, right? On the net right now, not only X. No. We have a perfectly working.
Good, good.
Actually, some of us in some of the shelters we have we even have Wi-Fi in the shelter. So I have like few shelters around. One of them is like the privileged one, the fancy one with the Wi-Fi. So, but anyway, there's internet and everything is working just fine. We have everything supermarkets and all the um, um, how should I say, like must services such as banks, etc., are acting like normally. Only the places of gathering, so if, for example, you have a gym or something like that, if you don't have a proper shelter for the people for time of alert, so you will not open. But the crucial places, as I said before, as banks, etc., work. If you go out the street, some people go out again. You will not take now a long drive with
Country
your
in this
children
mission, we
because
remember them.
you don't want to be caught in the
But we
middle of
remember
the
them by rededicating ourselves even more fervently
market.
to this
Oh
mission.
God!
Our commitment
Sheriff, wake
to
up!
our mission objectives only increases as our advantages continue to increase.
She goes. Call
We've got no
her or
shortage of
something.
munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive weapons allow us to sustain this campaign as long as we need to. Again, our munition
She goes. Did
status
you try to call
only
her?
increases as our advantage,
Yes, I am calling her now.
our
No, she's awake.
capabilities.
She just turned it on. I just
We
sent
have
it to her.
only just begun to fight and fight decisively. Having a chance to hear from Admiral Cooper. If you think you've seen something, just wait. The amount of combat power that's still flowing, that's still coming, that we'll be able to project over Iran is a multiples of what it currently is right now when you add up our capabilities and those of the Israeli Defense Forces. And we have no shortage of authorities. The Admiral knows we have clear objectives with maximum authorities on the battlefield. The dumb, politically correct wars of the past were the opposite of what we're doing here. They had vague objectives with restrictive, minimalist rules of engagement. No more. Our authorities, his authorities, CENTCOM's authorities through the president and myself are maxed out. Our capabilities are overwhelming and gathering still, as are those of our Israeli partners. Our munitions are full up, and our will is ironclad, which means our timeline is ours and ours alone to control. As long as it takes to ensure the United States of America achieves these objectives. And as we flow more forces, and as we flow more capabilities, and as our munitions, as we're flying over the top, have even more devastating effects, we set the tempo, we set the timeline, led by the commander on the ground. Our ear is to the ground to listen to Admiral Cooper. What he needs and what he needs, he will get. We are built for this fight, and we are in it to win it. And we have the right commander in the lead. So I'll now hand it over to Admiral Brad Cooper to give you an update right here from CENTCOM. Admiral. Mr. Secretary, first, thank you very much and good afternoon, and welcome to U.S. Central Command Headquarters, America's warfighting headquarters. It's great to be here alongside the Secretary and representing the more than 50,000 men and women in uniform currently executing Operation Epic Fury. So, Mr. Secretary, first, thank you very much for your leadership and support and the very clear vision and objectives that you've given us to allow us to use overwhelming force against the Iranian terrorist regime. And thanks to all of you for attending today, and welcome to Tampa. We are now starting our 6th day of a historic mission to eliminate Iran's ability to threaten Americans. We are, if I could channel my inner Navy officer, we are at full speed ahead in executing orders given by leadership in Washington. The President and Secretary Hegseth have been crystal clear in their expectations, and we are at a high level of execution. As described by the Secretary and earlier this week by me, U.S. combat power is building as Iranian combat power declines. Our air dominance allows us to hit Iran's center of gravity with overwhelming power and reach. A couple of examples. In just the last 72 hours, America's bomber force has struck nearly 200 targets deep inside of Iran, including around Tehran. And in just the last hour, U.S. B-2 bombers dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs, targeting deeply buried ballistic missile launchers. Notably, we've also struck Iran's equivalent of Space Command, which degrades their ability to threaten Americans. Then, if I just look back over the last 24 hours of the operation compared to where we were at start, ballistic missile attacks have decreased by 90% since day one. Drone attacks have decreased by 83% since day one. Having said this, we remain vigilant. Our strikes against the Iranian Navy have intensified. You may have heard the president say just a little while ago that we have sunk or destroyed 24 ships. That was true at the moment. We're now up over 30 ships. And in just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. And as we speak, it's on fire. The president gave us another task: to raise or level Iran's ballistic missile industrial base. So we're not just hitting what they have, we're destroying their ability to rebuild. And so as we transition to the next phase of this operation, we will systemically dismantle Iran's missile production capability for the future, and that's absolutely in progress. This is going to take some time, but our forces are well supplied, as the secretary said, and we are absolutely ready to prosecute this mission decisively. Our combined joint forces have relentlessly destroyed Iran's air defenses over the past few days, and they've continued hunting for more systems to kill. Our air defenders are operating at the very top of their game. I couldn't be prouder, shoulder to shoulder with our partners in the region, in many cases, providing the most integrated air defense network in Middle East history. We are fighting to win. Through combined U.S. and Israeli combat power, we will continue decimating Iran's ability to project power outside its borders. And if I can just conclude by saying a strong salute to the brave men and women who are out on the pointy edge of this, really doing exceptional work. I just couldn't be prouder, and I know the American people share in that same pride. So thank you very much. Absolutely. And with that, we'll take a few questions. Yeah, right here.
Sir, appreciate it. Admiral, I wanted to ask, or Mr. Secretary, the Ukrainian president said today that the U.S. has asked for specific capabilities to deal with Shahed drones, Iranian drones. Can you guys talk about what you asked for, and has there been any surprise from Iranian capabilities that you guys have seen in the past 6 days?
Go ahead. We're very familiar with Iranian's capabilities, and as you might imagine, we planned for it right from the outset, and I feel good about what the plan was. Like any good organization, we adjust as necessary to meet the environment, and we've made those appropriate adjustments. Absolutely. Right here.
Thanks, Secretary. I had two for both of you. One, was an American pilot shot down today in Iraq? And two, I've heard reports that there's not a lot of bombing there. Is that on purpose? Do we believe there's a enriched uranium there? And would we ever send special forces to secure it?
As CENTCOM pointed out, that those reports of an F-15 being shot down are false. As you can imagine, Iran is doing everything it can to peddle in lies, deception, and inflation of numbers in reality, mostly to propagandize to their own people. Right? They've shut down the internet. They're hoping they can convince their own population that they're having success. One thing one of their leaders said recently is that 500 Americans have been killed, they claim. These are lies. The lies will continue. CENTCOM will continue to debunk those lies. So, and as often is the case in conflict, first reports are often wrong. As it pertains to nuclear material and things like that, one of the objectives the president has always said is that Iran will not have a nuclear bomb, nuclear capabilities, but we would never disclose what we will or will not do inside operational plans. So Admiral Cooper's got a plan. We're working that plan, and targets will be struck or not struck according to what we want to achieve. Yeah, right there.
Secretary Hexa, the president said earlier today in an interview that he would like to have a say in who's the next leader of Iran. Is this an expansion of your military objective? Do you view it that way? And additionally, you spoke earlier today about how previous leaders have drawn resources from our hemisphere to the Middle East. Mm-hmm. How do you avoid that?
Well, there's no expansion. Ultimately, I think the president's having a heck of a say in who runs Iran, given the ongoing operation we have. So there's no expansion in our objectives. We know exactly what we're trying to achieve. I think today's a great example of what this War Department is capable of doing. I was just in another part of Florida today where we announced, America's counter cartel conference. 18 countries coming together from Central, South America, and the Caribbean, coming together to fight cartels. That is something that is ongoing. We're focused there. We're focused in the Indo-Pacific. We can mass combat power in CENTCOM. EUCOM is able to support that as well. So we know we're laser focused on our hemisphere and our homeland. That's why we locked down the border. That's why we're working with partners to take on cartels. That's why we're sinking drug boats. That's why we're on the offense there. But the beautiful things about combatant commands is that, Brad Cooper's laser focused on Central Command, just like Frank Donovan is laser focused on Southern Command. We can do both. That's what a global power can do. Ultimately, this issue of Iran's nuclear pursuit and their unwillingness through negotiations to stop it was something President Trump has said for a long time needs to be dealt with. And after 47 years, he's doing something that no other president was willing to do. And we're doing it overwhelmingly, and we're doing it effectively, while also in other parts of the globe having the desired effect. And take, for example, what we displayed yesterday, the Iranian ship in the Indian Ocean, sunk by Indo-PACOM, another combatant command, who coordinated with us in order to make that happen. So America's reach is global. Our focus here, though, those missions are narrow, they're scoped, and Admiral Cooper is well on his way to ensuring that we reach those objectives. Right here, yes, sir.
Condolences about the troops killed. The Ukrainians are talking about providing low-cost interceptors, given their experience. Is that something that the Pentagon is looking for? And Admiral Cooper, can you walk us through a little bit about how effective the Lucas drones have been, what kind of targets they've hit, and how much that's helped, given that they're low-cost alternative to the more expensive helium?
Go ahead.
Sure. I'm not familiar with the particular offer, but interceptors in general. We've had a number of new capabilities being fielded. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it from an operational perspective of what those are. But I think you have seen over a period of time us kind of get on the other side of this cost curve on drones in general. If I just walk back a couple of years, you remember what you used to always hear, we're shooting down a $50,000 drone with a $2 million missile. These days, we're spending a lot of time shooting down $100,000 drones with $10,000 weapons from ours. So that's one aspect of it. Lucas, indispensable. As many of you know, and if you don't know, this was an original Iranian drone design. We captured it, pulled the guts out, sent it back to America, put a little Made America on it, brought it back here, and we're shooting them at the Iranians. Good targets.
Good targets. Absolutely. Right there, yes.
Thank you so much, Secretary. President Trump, in his first speech after the launch of the operation at the Fury, he addressed the Iranian people. He said that there is going to be a time for you to come out, but it's not now. Stay home. It's not safe. I want to know if there is a timeline for that you're going to urge Iranian people to come out, how that is going to play out, and how are you going to protect the protesters? You know that they're going to be shot probably, as we witnessed in January. That's what happened. How are you going to protect and support the protesters? And Admiral, I have one question for you. How are you going to minimize civilian harm? We have a lot of evidence that the Basij units, IRGC commanders, they are now gathering in schools, in hospitals, in purely residential areas because their headquarters are bombarded, they are ruined, of course. So how are you going to protect the civilians while you're attacking the IRGC people part? Thank you.
I would just say on the protests, obviously the Iranian people showed a lot of courage in those protests. And we saw the Iranian regime was revealed for what it is in the way they reacted to that. The world saw that. No one's done more than President Trump to reopen the opportunity for those who were on to do so. Ultimately, it's common sense, as he said up front. Don't go out and protest while bombs are dropping inside Tehran and elsewhere. So there will come a moment where he determines, or they determine, that it's the time to seize that advantage. But there's a lot of things we're doing, and the Israeli military is doing, targeting those individuals who are targeting those who protest. The more you do that, and you erode their will and you erode their capabilities, the more you create an opportunity for people to boldly stand up.
Yeah, I would just reinforce the point. We're targeting the people. We're targeting the headquarters and the people who are targeting the protesters. First and foremost. I'd also just double down on the president's comments that he previously made to the people. Stay in your homes. Keep things calm. Stay out of the way. There's a lot of U.S. and Israeli capacity coming over. We're hitting a lot of targets. The best thing for them to do for right now is just to lay low.
Right here.
Secretary, one common outcome of American military action in the past has been taking in thousands of refugees to the American homeland, and I'm wondering if there's any safeguards put in place to make sure that the American people aren't having to have another wave of refugees from the Middle East or else come and stay here.
I think it's safe to say there's no plan for a wave of new Middle Eastern refugees to the United States of America. I think, as the president has pointed out for a long time, there are a lot of countries in the region who would be capable of providing that kind of support if need be, but that's certainly not something we're planning on. Yep, back there. Yep. Yes, sir. Michael in Washington Times. I wanted to ask. I know, separate dumping is always a truism in the military. Did the British decision to refuse Diego Garcia have any impact on the mission itself? Did you have to adjust, or were you able to just completely, go with the mission without any worries? Well, as the president stated, it was unfortunate that that the Brits didn't, from day one, say, "Hey, go ahead and have access," but we got there. We got there, and that's now part of the way that we're operationalizing bomber runs. And it's part of when we say more to come, it's more fighter squadrons, it's more capabilities, it's more defensive capabilities, and it's more bomber pulses more frequently. The amount of firepower over Iran, Tehran, is about to surge dramatically. And part of it is that we're going to have even more basing. And it's not just the UK. We've had other friends step up, and we're grateful for that. Maybe one more right here. Yeah. The Israeli president earlier today basically authorized his Minister of Defense to begin preparing troops for some type of retaliatory action after the airport strike. As the Department of War and CENTCOM is working on deconflicting with the US area if they were to move in and something in retaliation. I'm sure there are plans, and I'll let the Admiral speak to that. But that does allow me to kind of address this idea that the war might be expanding, or there's and nothing could be further from the truth. If anything, what Iran is doing by targeting allied countries that would otherwise want to stay out of this, they've actually pulled them into the American orbit. So now you've got UAE and Qatar and Bahrain and Saudi and Kuwait and others saying, "Hey, we're with you. We'll shoot with you. We'll fly with you. We'll defend with you. We'll allow you." And other opportunities, a lot of which we can't talk about and won't talk about, but it's actually firming up the unity of the resistance in order to focus exactly where we need to. So this idea that it's expanding or going, no, it's actually simplifying in a number of ways exactly what we need to achieve and how we'll achieve it. I don't know if you want to add to that.
I won't get out of policy ahead of policy and might do. What I will point out is this is now the 12th country that Iran has attacked. 12 countries, and it goes right back to the Secretary's point. Those 12 countries are none too happy, and I look forward to working with all the partners who are willing to join us in this.
And I would just close by saying,
Mr. Secretary, one more question.
Sure.
What is your message to Americans who are concerned about security here at home with the change-up that we're going to see at the Department of Homeland Security?
Well, I think Kristi Noem did an excellent job over there securing our border and keeping us focused on threats, and the president making a change. We all serve at the pleasure of the president. I'm sure Mark Wayne Mullen will do a fantastic job. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. But Kristi did a great job setting us up for success. So I don't have any concerns about whether or not the homeland will be covered down on. And I'll just end by saying I wish every American could get a chance to see what we see. I had a chance to go into the control room, into the Tactical Operations Center, go see these young men and women that are doing this, the dedication that they show at every level, the way they've refined their craft. I was talking to a young colonel who's iterating on how to get and how we find and fix different aspects of what the Iranians are trying to do. If they don't know what they're up against. And if they think they've got it solved for, they're wrong. And ultimately, the combination of our ingenuity, the skill, the professionalism, the discipline, and then the sheer weight of the capabilities of the U.S. military, what you're going to see may look routine. It might start to be like, oh, another boat. Oh, another launcher. Oh, another drone facility. What it takes to do this with the precision that we do is world-class. No one else can do it. And it's world-class Americans. Like the ones I saw here, like the ones that are coming home that we're going to greet home, that are the engine of what makes our country great. And so I'm so grateful for folks like those here at CENTCOM, at Central Command, who are under your command. Thank you for your decisive leadership. And all I'll say to you is what I say to them, keep going. Because the president and myself, we have your back. Thank you, Admiral. Appreciate it. Thanks very much. Thank you all. Good afternoon. I'm honored to stand right here today alongside one of America's finest, Admiral Brad Cooper, commander of U.S. Central Command. We just had a chance to spend a couple of hours together, better part of 2 hours, going through the entirety of this operation, Operation Epic Fury. And Admiral, I want to thank you for everything you do and your incredible leadership, for your dynamic thinking, the way you're attacking this problem set on every level. In just days of Operation Epic Fury, you and your team have delivered nothing short of devastating, precise strikes, taking out the better part of Iran's navy, making it combat ineffective, neutralizing missile sites and launchers, and establishing total dominance over the skies we fly over and seas we fly over. Our forces are executing with unmatched skill, and the mission is advancing decisively. This is the kind of no-nonsense, results-driven warfighting that America demands, and you're delivering it in spades. And for this moment. Admiral Cooper, on behalf of the President, the Department of War, and every American watching, I want to thank you for the outstanding job you and are doing. Keep pressing the fight, and we are with you all the way. A few thoughts before I hand it over to the Admiral for an update. Iran is hoping that we cannot sustain this, which is a really bad miscalculation for the IRGC in Iran. There's no shortage of American will here. We remember and honor our fallen, those 6 that we will soon welcome at Dover, who gave everything for their country in this mission. We remember them. But we remember them by rededicating ourselves even more fervently to this mission. Our commitment to our mission objectives only increases as our advantages continue to increase. We've got no shortage of munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive weapons allow us to sustain the campaign as long as we need to. Again, our munition status only increases as our advantage increases. Our capabilities, we have only just begun to fight and fight decisively. Having a chance to hear from Admiral Cooper, if you think you mean something, just wait. The amount of combat power that's still flowing, that's still coming, that will be able to project over Iran is a multiples of what it currently is right now when you add up our capabilities and those of the Israeli Defense Force. And we have no shortage of authorities. The Admiral knows we have clear objectives with maximum authorities on the battlefield. The dumb, politically correct wars of the past were the opposite of what we're doing here. They had vague objectives with restrictive, minimalist rules of engagement. No more. Our authorities, his authorities, CENTCOM's authorities through the President and myself are maxed out. Our capabilities are overwhelming and gathering still, as are those of our Israeli partners. Our munitions are full up, and our will is ironclad, which means our timeline is ours and ours alone to control. As long as it takes to ensure the United States of America achieves these objectives. And as we flow more forces, and as we flow more capabilities, and as our munitions, as we're flying over the top, have even more devastating effects, we set the tempo, we set the timeline, led by the commander on the ground. Our ear is to the ground to listen to Admiral Cooper, what he needs, and what he needs he will get. We are built for this fight, and we are in it to win it. And we have the right commander in the lead. So I'll now hand it over to Admiral Brad Cooper to give you right here from CENTCOM. Admiral.
Mr. Secretary, first, thank you very much and good afternoon and welcome to U.S. Central Command Headquarters, America's Warfighting Headquarters. It's great to be here alongside the Secretary and representing the more than 50,000 men and women in uniform currently executing Operation Epic Fury. So, Mr. Secretary, first, thank you very much for your leadership and the very clear vision and objectives that you've given us to allow us to use overwhelming force against the Iranian terrorist regime. And thanks to all of you for attending today and welcome to Tampa. We are now starting our 6th day of a historic mission to eliminate Iran's ability